Job openings declining in December to 7.6 million, down from about 8.1 million the month prior, missing economists' expectations, signaling some potential for loosening in the labor market. The next key economic print to watch, we've got that jobs report out on Friday. But what could drive the market more, the macro data or policy coming in from the White House? Here to discuss, we've got Jennifer Lee. She's the senior economist and managing director at BMO Capital Markets. Jennifer, great to have you on here. Talk to me about how you are talking to clients and thinking through the macro versus the fiscal and which policies are going to impact the market more for 2025.
Oh, that's a great question. And thank you very much for having me on. There is so much, my head is actually spinning right now just from everything that's been happening over the past few days. But it's always important to just stay with the fundamental story about what's happening to the economy. And yes, fiscal policy will have an impact. Political, discussions and chatter will certainly have an impact on markets. But at the end of the day, it goes back down to the economy, how the economy is faring. And so far, the handoff has still been, I think, a very resilient, one of resilience. We're starting to see some slowdown. We started seeing it towards the end of the year, just on growing uncertainty about tariffs, because a lot of the tariff threats were being ramped up in December, for example. So you're starting to see that kind of playing out. And but I still think we're still in for a solid year, and it certainly helped that this tariff threat, the near term at least, tariff threat is now taken off the table, at least for the next 30 days. So we'll have to see what happens after that. But still, overall, we're still seeing general broader strength.
Jennifer, how is that at all impacting then the forecast? I know it's not happening for another 30 days at this point, but the risk that then potentially poses to economic growth?
The tariffs, I think it's still, I still think it's very much of a threat. Again, a 30-day reprieve is something that, that is certainly welcomed, but, there has been already a lot of work that was put into what if Canada was hit with a 25% tariff, what if Mexico was hit with a 25% tariff. So there's already, people jumping on, the phones with their lawyers. Everyone was like lawyering up to see what they could do. Because there were bound to be legal challenges already. Lists were drawn up about what would be tariffed and what would be tariffed back. So there was a lot of effort still put into this. So I still think there's a lot of uncertainty out there. There's the next date. I mean, of course, we've got 30 days roughly, but then there's another date of April 1st that is coming up, when President Trump has a federal agency looking into it's bigger, like the bigger trade issue, which countries have persistent trade deficits with the U.S., which ones are conducting unfair trade practices, which ones are potentially holding down their currencies for the benefit of exports. So all of that is going to be coming to light on April 1st, thereabouts, and then we'll have to see what happens at the next stage. But again, we'll take the breathing room right now.
All right, Jennifer Lee, unfortunately, we have to leave it there. We look forward to having you back again soon.